Have you ever wondered why we don't just float off into space? Why does an apple fall from a tree straight down and not upwards or sideways? Welcome students to your favorite channel. These questions, seemingly simple yet profoundly complex, have puzzled humans for centuries. The answer lies in a force that's both invisible and omnipresent, a force that governs everything from the fall of a leaf to the motion of planets. This force is gravity. Gravity, an enigma wrapped inside the fabric of space and time, is the cosmic glue that holds the universe together. It's the reason we walk on the ground instead of drifting into the skies. It's why the moon orbits the Earth, and the Earth orbits the Sun. But the understanding of this force didn't come easy. It took the genius of a man named Isaac Newton to unravel this mystery. Picture a young Newton sitting under an apple tree on a sunny afternoon. As legend has it, an apple falls from the tree, landing with a soft thud. This seemingly ordinary event sparks an extraordinary revelation in Newton's mind. He starts to wonder why the apple fell straight down and not sideways or upwards. And thus, the concept of gravity was born. Newton's apple-falling epiphany led to his formulation of the law of universal gravitation, radically transforming our understanding of the physical world. Before Newton, people believed in the Aristotelian idea that objects in motion naturally come to a rest. But Newton's laws of motion, including the law of gravity, debunked this notion, establishing that an object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by an external force. So, Newton's apple-falling revelation was just the beginning of a deeper exploration into the force that keeps us grounded. It was the first step in a journey that would take us to the moon and beyond. A journey that continues as we strive to unravel the remaining mysteries of the universe. From the fall of an apple to the spin of galaxies, gravity is the silent puppeteer pulling the strings of the cosmos. But was Newton the first to discover gravity? Let's delve into ancient wisdom for answers. In the heart of ancient India, the Vedic texts, dating back to over 3,000 years ago, subtly hint at concepts akin to gravity. These texts, while not explicitly scientific, provide fascinating insights into the understanding of our universe by the ancients. The Rig Veda, one of the oldest of these texts, speaks of Prithvi, or the earth, being held in place. While not directly mentioning a force, it suggests an understanding that something keeps us grounded, much like gravity. The concept of Gurutvakarshan in the Surya Siddhanta, often translated as gravity, further strengthens this connection. It describes how celestial bodies are held in their orbits, an understanding that closely parallels our modern concept of gravity. Contrasting these ancient perceptions with Newton's laws of gravity, we find intriguing similarities and differences. Newton's laws give us a clear mathematical explanation of gravity, an invisible force that pulls objects towards each other. The Vedic texts, on the other hand, don't provide a scientific explanation, but seem to intuitively understand the existence of such a force. The Vedas, with their poetic language and metaphorical descriptions, offer a more philosophical perspective. They propose a universal principle of attraction, where everything in the universe is interconnected and influences each other. This concept, while not scientific in the way we understand it today, is fascinatingly similar to the idea of gravity as a universal force. So, did the ancients discover gravity before Newton? Not exactly. They didn't have the scientific tools or the mathematical language that Newton had. However, their intuitive understanding of the universe, as reflected in the Vedic texts, suggests that they were aware of the existence of a force similar to gravity. While these ancient texts did not provide a scientific explanation, they indeed hinted at a force similar to what we now know as gravity. Discovering something as fundamental as gravity wasn't a walk in the park. What were the struggles that Newton faced? Let's dive into the world of this brilliant mind to uncover the trials and tribulations that led to his groundbreaking discoveries. Picture this. It's the 17th century. Science is still in its infancy, and yet a young Isaac Newton is grappling with concepts that would leave many of us scratching our heads today. The idea of gravity, an invisible force pulling us towards the earth, was a radical notion, one that Newton himself found challenging to wrap his head around. He spent countless hours observing, hypothesizing, and experimenting, all in a bid to understand this unseen force. He was notorious for his meticulous nature, painstakingly jotting down notes about the movement of celestial bodies and the fall of an apple. It was through these observations that Newton began to grasp the concept of a force acting at a distance. But understanding this was only half the battle. Formulating his laws of gravity was no easy feat. It was a process of trial and error that required ingenuity, resilience, and a fair amount of patience. Newton had to invent an entirely new branch of mathematics, calculus, to explain his theories accurately. As if the task of discovery and formulation wasn't daunting enough, Newton also had to face the criticism of his contemporaries. His theories were met with skepticism and outright denial from some quarters. The concept of an invisible force acting at a distance was seen as mysticism, not science, by many of his peers. Yet, Newton remained undeterred. He staunchly defended his theories, engaging in heated debates and enduring the harsh critique of his work. His determination was unwavering, his resolve impenetrable. Despite the hurdles, Newton's determination led to a breakthrough, forever changing the way we perceive our universe. This struggle of genius serves as a testament to the power of curiosity, resilience, and unwavering determination in the face of adversity. And it reminds us that our understanding of the world is built on the struggles and triumphs of those who dared to question, to explore, and to dream. Gravity isn't just a force, it's a universal constant. But how did we come to calculate its value? The universal gravitational constant, denoted by the letter G, is a key part of the equation that describes the gravitational force between two objects. But calculating G wasn't a walk in the park. It required a blend of genius, patience, and sheer determination. The tale of G begins with Sir Isaac Newton, who formulated the law of universal gravitation in the 17th century. But as brilliant as he was, Newton couldn't determine the value of G. He knew it existed, but the tools of his time weren't sophisticated enough to measure it. Fast forward to over a century later, enter Henry Cavendish, an English scientist, who devised a way to measure G. He set up a delicate experiment involving two small lead spheres and two larger ones, all suspended from a thin wire. By observing the tiny twisting motion as the spheres attracted each other, Cavendish was able to calculate G for the first time. But why is G so important? Well, it's the glue that holds the universe together. Without it, we wouldn't be able to calculate the force of attraction between celestial bodies like Earth and the Moon, or the Sun and the Earth. It's also a fundamental part of Einstein's theory of general relativity, which describes gravity not just as a force, but as a warping of space and time. Even today, G remains one of the most difficult constants to measure accurately. Scientists are still refining its value in an ongoing quest for precision that has spanned centuries. The universal gravitational constant, a small number with a big impact, is a testament to the precision and beauty of our universe. From Newton's apple to ancient texts, and from struggles to constants, the story of gravity is indeed fascinating. As we've seen throughout this journey, the discovery and understanding of gravity is a tale that spans centuries and cultures, intertwining science, history, and philosophy. Let's take a moment to recap. We've seen how Isaac Newton's observation of a falling apple led him to formulate the law of universal gravitation, a cornerstone of physics. This law enables us to predict the movement of celestial bodies and is fundamental to our understanding of the universe. We've also delved into the ancient Vedic texts, where concepts remarkably similar to gravity were explored thousands of years before Newton. This shows us that the curiosity about the natural world and the forces that govern it is as old as human civilization itself. We've witnessed the struggles Newton faced in his quest to understand gravity. His journey wasn't easy, but his perseverance and dedication led to a breakthrough that would forever change our understanding of the universe. Then we explored the universal gravitational constant, a value that took countless hours of meticulous work to calculate. This number, though seemingly insignificant, is crucial in accurately predicting the behavior of objects under the influence of gravity. Now we see gravity not just as a force that keeps us grounded, but as a fundamental player in the grand cosmic ballet. It shapes galaxies, governs the orbits of planets, and even influences the flow of time itself. It's an invisible thread that weaves the tapestry of our universe. Yet for all we know, there are still mysteries that elude us. Is there a link between gravity and the construction of the pyramids? Could there be other unknown dimensions where gravity behaves differently? These are questions we're still exploring. Gravity, an invisible force, holds our universe together. It's a mystery we've begun to unravel, yet so much remains to be discovered. As we continue to explore, who knows what revelations await us? This is the gravity of the situation,